Off and running on the Kreuger Show Tuesday night. We're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out, and they do run out. So get there early, get some brisket chili. Tell them Krug sent you. You're going to love Pig and a Pickle. Also, we're brought to you by Claw Daddy Arcades. You can see the logo above Raj's head right there, and they're a great follow on Instagram at claw_daddy_arcades to find a location near you. Brand new locations in Capitola Mall and Visalia Mall opening later on this year. And thanks to Sharp Corners, Sports Cards and Collectibles, we'll tell you more about them in a bit. But we're off and running on a Tuesday night, and as I said, Raj is here. We get together every Tuesday night, and he's a great follow on Instagram, follow on YouTube. We should tell everybody, if you're watching us live on YouTube, do us a favor. Smash the like button, hit subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Make sure it's all turned on so you never miss a show. And remember, once the live stream wraps, you can catch the full replay anywhere you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever your favorite platform is. Just search The Krug Show, and you'll find us on our side. And then, of course, Raj on his side is doing a ton of great stuff as well. And we got a lot to get to today, so we'll jump right into it. We titled this stream Reaction, First 49er Depth Chart, Camp Standouts. We'll talk about that, and then we'll get into some of the sound of the day. But Raj, if I go to RSF 49ers on wait a second, there we go. RSF 49ers on X, I find the depth chart, and there it is.
There it is.
The first depth chart is out. Without me leading you in any direction, is there anything about this depth chart that you find interesting or noteworthy in any way?
Yeah, there's a couple things. And one thing you got to understand, this is the first unofficial depth chart, because people see this and they're, oh my God, this is subject to change. I did find it interesting that they got Trey Brown as your starting nickel, because Upton Stout has had a fantastic training camp. He's rising. I think he's like hot on the heels, but I was a little surprised that Trey Brown has the starting spot. But then again, he is the veteran, and Upton Stout has to earn it from the veteran. So that was one guy I was like, okay. And they listed Jacob Cowing as the punt returner instead of Junior Bergeron, but we all know Jacob Cowing right now is dealing with the hamstring. So that one definitely a little surprising, but then you probably realize, okay, Junior Bergeron is going to be probably returning the kicks because Jacob's hurt. Other than that, I mean, I feel like everything else was as it should be. Jordan Elliott starting at defensive tackle, I kind of was a little surprised, but because if you look at camp, Collins hasn't really hit that stride yet. I thought Evan Anderson would maybe be, up there for consideration, but it tells me that these younger guys like Evan Anderson and Alfred Collins still have a little ways to go, because they have Jordan Elliott listed as a starting defense tackle. So those were kind of my first takeaways overall from looking at the depth chart there.
It's always eventful when the first depth chart comes out, but I'll say there's not a lot of real takeaways here. I mean, okay, so let me give you a couple quick thoughts. One, so you have Kevin Givens listed as the starter. Shanahan told us that he's out for the entire preseason and a good chunk of the year. He missed how many games last year with a torn pec, and now he's got another pec injury, and I don't know if it's torn or strained or partially torn or frayed or what, but he's the starter opposite Jordan Elliott. So it's like, obviously he's not the starter. So Jordan Elliott, it has been taking the first, like the number one reps at defensive tackle, but it's just because he's the veteran. I just think that the defensive tackle depth chart just seems totally askew. So you got Givens and Jordan Elliott as your ones. Okay. If you said to me, based on what you've seen, who do I think should be the ones? I would say Jordan Elliott and CJ West.
Yeah.
Okay.
CJ West.
But CJ West is he's not a one, he's not a two. The ones are Givens and Elliott. The twos at tackle are Alfred Collins and Kalia Davis, and Evan Anderson and CJ West are the threes, and then Bruce Hector from the Jets, who just came over this week, and Sebastian Valdez, who looks like a ton, are the fours. But why would Collins be over CJ West when West has been totally dominating the one-on-ones and Collins has been getting dominated in the one-on-one? So I don't get that at all. So I don't know if I put a lot of stock into this whole thing. Then the other one is this also has Renardo Green starting. He's not starting. I mean he will start eventually, but it's like partially a projection, partially not a projection. So it's like they're projecting Renardo Green, they're projecting, Kevin Givens, but in reality, those guys probably won't start. They also have Luke Gifford as the start. First of all, they also have a 4-3 look with Gifford, Warner, and Winters. And I would almost guarantee you that it's not going to be Gifford. I mean, it's going to be Warner, Winters, and Martin as sure as I'm standing here, or sitting here, I should say. So, it's an odd depth chart. I mean, I'll just say that. I mean, the offensive lines, makes sense left to right. Williams, Barch, Chris Forster loves Barch. Breckel's your starter at center. Pooney's the starter at right guard. McKivit's the starter at right tackle. I mean, you look at that offense and you think if they could stay healthy, it's a pretty, even without Debo and no Ayuk, it's still a pretty decent offense. But that, on the defensive side, Gifford's not going to start. Givens isn't going to start. Renardo Green right now is not ready to go. So I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what to make of it, but it's a little bit of a projection. And then it's a little bit of like, let's make the rookies earn it kind of a thing. The only rookie that's listed as a starter is Mikael Williams, and Mikael Williams at times has gotten, I mean, he went up today in one-on-ones against I think Zach Johnson, number 69, who's not going to make the team most likely. And he beat him on a couple reps, but Johnson stonewalled him on a couple other reps. So, Mikael Williams is like, he right now watching him, I can tell you what he is. If he beats you initially, then you're beaten. But if you beat him initially, he will not come back and beat you. If you can stonewall him initially, he has no secondary, thing that he can go to. He's got to beat you with his initial move. And he does. He's too quick for the guards, and he's very strong and long against the tackles. He's a force because of his length and strength, but if he doesn't beat you with the first move, he's not beating you.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's a fantastic interior rusher. He's setting the edge so good, but he's still a work in progress. Yep. Yeah, he's still a work in progress on the edge, but I feel like they knew that. We all knew he was kind of a raw prospect. They're going to develop him there, but I don't think anybody's going to be running on Mikael Williams when he's in. I think he's going to be very good against the run, and that's what they needed to improve, right? Last year, one of the big issues was stuffing the damn run, and they couldn't do it. I mean, how many times did you ask Nick Sorensen, how are you going to do it? And he couldn't give you an answer. The 49ers drafted Mikael Williams. There's your answer. It's one of them. But yeah, overall, I agree with your take. I was definitely surprised CJ West was listed as a third defense tackle. I mean, yeah, I get you need to earn it, but this man has been probably top 5 player in training camp. So a little different there. And then the other takeaway that I didn't say earlier is this wide receiver group is very thin. If, there's some injuries. We all know that. Cowing, Pearsall wrapped the man in bubble. Hope he doesn't get hurt. And right now, Jennings, calf injury. Some people think it's legit. Some people don't. But regardless, you got him dealing with the calf issue, and then you have Brandon Ayuk. So if we have any major injuries to this group, I'm a little worried there. I'm not going to lie to you. That is one of my biggest concerns coming into the season is that wide receiver department. They got a good offense on paper if they're healthy, but that's going to be a big key. But I really like our running backs this year.
It's an interesting wide receiver group because, like, if everybody's healthy, you're really pretty loaded, right? You got Ayuk, Pearsall in year 2, Jennings in a contract year, Demarcus Robinson, who looks fantastic, Jordan Watkins, who today looked even better, Cowing, who had a phenomenal spring and I thought was ready for liftoff until he got hurt, and he may come back and just really take off. And then it's like that's 6 right there. That could be your wide receiver core, but you still have Russell Gage, you have Junior Bergen, you have Isaiah Hodgins, and you got a couple other guys, Tariq Owens, Robbie Chosen. They cut Indy Isabella today because he got an ankle injury, and they re-signed Equinemius St. Brown. They just want to have 12 receivers, but to me, the receiving group is going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Do they try to go for another receiver? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I asked Shanahan, hey, you signed Robbie Chosen, you signed Andy Isabella. Have you guys changed your philosophy about what you're looking for in receivers? You've added a lot of speed at receiver, and you guys were 32nd in separation last year. And he's like, no, we haven't changed. We just like good receivers. And we don't care if they're fast or big or small or tall or what. We just like a good receiver. And it almost was like made me want to follow up with, so where's Keenan Allen then? Because Keenan Allen is clearly better than these guys. I mean,
signed today.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he signed with the Chargers. He went back home. He's back home. Yeah.
Okay, but so then my next question would be, where's Gabe Davis?
That was going to be my question. That to me is the guy they would probably bring in, Larry, if they're going to bring in.
I like that name.
I like him, but I really think
26.
right now they just need bodies to get through training camp. That's really what it is. Like today was a perfect example of what they're trying to do. Is like, hey, okay, we got St. Brown on speed dial. Andy Isabella hurt himself. Yo, come back, St. Brown. We got a preseason game. We got to get through these next couple of weeks. And then after training camp, preseason's done, maybe they'll keep some of those guys on the practice squad, or they'll keep them on speed dial throughout the season. So I don't think they're worried right now, as long as, like we said, Cowing and Pearsall and Jennings, those guys, if they're healthy, and DeMarcus Robinson, I don't think they're worried. But now if one of those other guys, like if Cowing can't come back fully from the hamstring injury, then I think that's when they look into like Gabe Davis. I don't think they're going after a big name guy like Cooper or Keenan Allen. Well, obviously they can after Keenan, but I think the other name now that's still out there is Amari Cooper. I think the Niners right now, if they were going to make a move, it'll probably be Gabe Davis.
I would love it. I mean, I think Gabe Davis would make a lot of sense if he's healthy. If he's healthy, it's funny. They were shooting the punts on the jugs machine today, and it shoots the ball so freaking high in the air that it's like you could be watching other stuff, but once you see that ball in the air, you're like, oh, wait a second, somebody's going to be on the other end to catch this. Let's see, So once those balls started being shot in the air, I looked over at the punt returners and I saw it was Bergen, and I'm like, and I was standing right next to Grant. And I'm like, hey, Grant, balls in the air. Looks like Bergen's looking to catch it. Let's see what kind of hands he has. And we both turn and look, and he bobbled it and dropped it.
I was watching it because I was right in front of when the punt jugs machine. I was like, oh, this is interesting because Moody's not kicking it, and Morstead, I was like, why don't you have your punter kick it? But they wanted it to get some height, and this man, I was like, oh, this is the guy. This is our punt return. It was not a good look.
Who looked really good? Jordan Watkins.
He was amazing today. Him and Mac Jones.
Mac Jones looks really good, but Jordan Watkins, I thought looked really natural as a punt returner catching the ball, and he had a great day today. I thought Jordan Watkins Pearsall looks amazing, but Jordan Watkins looks really, really good. So, this is an interesting wide receiver year. It's like, okay, let's get back to Jennings for a second. Is he holding out? Is he holding in? Or is he actually hurt? I am of the belief that he's holding. I would have said holding in, but he's not there. So he's holding out. And this whole end around that the Niners did with this story, in some ways it's like public relations genius. They knew that everybody. You remember day one of camp? It was like it was this big referendum on JJ. What's going to be up with JJ? Is he going to hold out? Is he going to hold in? And then all of a sudden it was like, JJ's here and he's practicing. Oh, what a pro. And, he's the ultimate pro and he doesn't care about this stuff. He doesn't care about his contract. He just wants to play. And this is what he's about. 2 days later, he says he's got a calf injury. He hasn't played since. Not only has he not played since, he's not there. All the other hurt players are there. He's not there. He's not on the side field working on his calf. He's not with a trainer stretching his calf. When he was here before he left, he looked to be in awesome shape. So I don't know, man. I asked Grant yesterday, I said, hey, or today, I said, when he went out with the calf injury, did you see the injury? And he's like, not really. I just kind of saw him walking away. I didn't either. And so I don't know what, I mean, I don't want to, yell and scream about this. It's not worth yelling and screaming about, but I mean, I don't care, but I don't believe him. Okay. So it's not like it's like the worst thing ever, but everybody's, since the Niners just got, I mean, Shanahan was asked about this and he's like, Cam Inman was like, is it business related or is it injury related? And he's like, go ask him. It's like, well, go ask him. He's not out here to ask. We're asking you. And then go ask him. If anything, that sounds like I don't want to lie to you, so go ask him.
Yeah.
It just came across, and once again, there's nothing really wrong with any of this. He wants a little bit more money. They like him. They don't want to make a big to-do about it. They definitely don't want it to be a topic of conversation every day for every media person. They don't, you know what I mean? So I don't blame them for the way they've handled this, but I'm not a stooge, and it's like I have to give opinions on this stuff. And if I'm giving you my honest opinion is that his calf will be fine as soon as his contractual situation is ironed out.
He's gonna rub the money on his calf, and it's gonna
right.
You know what? I had so many different views on this, and I've read so many things. I've heard so many things. I heard Richard Sherman talking about it, and so many people. And at first, I was like, no, I don't think it's not a work. I don't think it's fake. I think he's legit. Because I was like, I don't think JJ's the type of guy that's going to, lie about an injury or whatever. He came into camp, like you said, and it was like, okay, this guy is ready to be there. He looked unbelievable. He was, before Ricky Pearsall started rising and looks like the best player out there most days at receiver, it was Jennings. This guy was so hard to cover. This guy was making play after play. And I was like, oh, my God, this guy really came to camp. Just hardcore. He wants that contract. But as soon as Shanahan said what he said yesterday, I changed my tune, Larry. I do think that he's kind of holding out, because you're right. The biggest point that you made there is I don't see him anywhere. Even last year, you had Brandon Ayuk was there, the shorts gate and the whole scandal. He was there. He got the dap up with Kyle Shanahan. Unless Kyle said, "Look, don't even come around because we don't want that media circus. We're gonna handle it. We're gonna spin it. We're gonna say ask him." I don't know, because you're right. Because if Kyle says something and it turns out not being the right thing, team could get in trouble. Media is gonna eat him up like they always do. So I think he took the high road, and I think that was the smart thing to do. And they're going to figure it out. And as soon as that contract gets signed, he's going to rub those millions of dollars on that calf, and he's going to be okay, because that is really what's going on. I think he's kind of like, hey, I showed you I'm here. I showed you I'm coming to practice. I'm committed. I passed my physical. You guys saw what I can do. But right now, I'm not trying to risk to get hurt. And I think that was the way out. And it was just to play it off as a calf injury. I really didn't think that was the case until Kyle opened his mouth about it yesterday. So shout out to Cam Inman for asking. That was a good question. That was a great question. I was like, oh, I can't believe he said that.
Well, and it just sounded, it's like, sounds like a duck, smells like a duck, walks like a duck. It's probably a duck. You know what I mean? All right, let's talk about the fact that 11 training camp practices are in the books. Correct. And the Niners seem to be somewhat hurt again. Okay. Evan Anderson, non-participant today, knee bruise. Nick Bosa, he's missed 3 practices in a row. He worked out on the field before, took some video of it. It was a rest day. Jair Brown's got an ankle. Cowing's got the hammy. Givens has got a pec. He's going to miss regular season games, maybe a lot. I kind of wonder if it's a career, situation, because he did tear the pec last year. Same injury. Renardo Green's out with the hammy. Guarendo's out with the shoulder, probably a couple weeks. JJ's out with the contract strain. And I mean, Kyle Juszczyk supposedly got a cut on his heel. Sam Aquinu has got a groin injury. We saw CMC and Trent Williams come back after Monday. They had a rest day. But then you've got Brandon Ayuk on the PUP list. You got Andre Dillard, who we've yet to see, and he could be a key. He was out there rehabbing. He was rehabbing, but he's on the PUP list. Ankle. Yatir Gross-Matos there, as you said, rehabbing. Knee on the PUP list. Malik Mustafa, ACL, PUP list. Then you got Rourke on the NFI. You've got Teron Jackson, Trent Taylor, and Trey Tomlinson on the IR. You got Jordan James, who was dinged up with the knee, but he returned to practice today and was out there. So how concerned are you with the injuries right now? Is it oh shit, they're cooked, or is it, I'm a little concerned, I'm not concerned? What is your level of concern with the injuries?
It's starting to get to the point where I'm like, oh shit, like it's probably ramping up between a 6 and a 7. At first I was like, okay, it's early. A lot of them are, issues that probably can ramp up by the time the season starts. They get a month. So it's like, we still got time. The other part is some of those guys like Dillard and some of these guys, well, okay, it's okay to lose them. But then you look at, okay, Cowan, we talked about the receiver position. Isaac Guerrero, that's a big part of this offense. Can he, stay healthy? He's had a lot of injuries since he's been in. So I'm starting to worry about Isaac Guerrero and can he handle, the contact. It's kind of, he's starting to turn into Elijah Mitchell a little bit. It's just an injury after injury after injury. So I'm starting to get a little bit more concerned because it's a young team. Robert Saleh said today that, we might have 8 new starters. Now, we had a lot of players that are infusing into this team. And if they're hurt, who the hell's the depth? So I'm starting to worry because now our depth is starting to get hurt. And again, it's a 17th season. I'm glad it's early and it's not like a major like ACL or, Achilles. I think the biggest injury right now is the pec issue with Kevin Givens. So that one is a little bit, tough to deal with. But everything else should be a couple week. It's not like minor, but it's not major. It's kind of somewhere in between. So as long as they're like these minor injuries that they can recover, get their conditioning back, it's okay. But some of those injuries can become, more of a chronic thing and start lingering, like these hamstring if you don't get it knocked out early. So I'm starting to become a little bit more concerned because the depth, it's like every single day, Larry, it's like, boom, this guy goes down. Boom, this guy goes down. And at first it was like, okay, it's not a big deal. It's training camp. But everybody's getting hurt almost every single day. It's like you need to start wrapping these guys in bubble and no play them, but you can't do that. So I'm starting to get pretty worried, Larry. It's like a 7.
Well, it's like one of those things. It's like, do you like the Niners this year? Yeah, if they can start Bosa and Huff and Mikael Williams and get, good years out of West and Elliott and Collins, yeah, I like their defensive front. But if they have a couple injuries on their defensive front, it could be a real disaster. Do you like the linebackers? Yeah, I like Winters. I like Martin. I like Warner. But if they lose a couple guys and all of a sudden it's the Luke Gifford, Tatum Bethune show, it's going to be a struggle. Do you like the secondary? I like the secondary if it's Demo and Green and, Malik Mustafa and Jair Brown and Upton Stout. But all of a sudden we look up and it's Trey Brown, Eli Apple, Dallas Flowers, Jalen Mahoney. Now I got issues. I mean, it's the same thing across the board. I'm okay with the offensive line first team, but I'll tell you right now, Spencer Burford is not a tackle. He has looked atrocious as far as his footwork. He's too slow-footed to play tackle. And what's happening is he's false starting, and they're not calling it. So, I mean, good luck to him in Thursday and Saturday and in the preseason, because guess what? The NFL officials are going to call it. And if he doesn't clean up his footwork, he's going to be out of the league. I mean, he's not he wasn't a guard. Now he's a tackle. And it's like, he doesn't have the foot quickness to play tackle. So we'll get to that. But I mean, I think Isaiah Prince, McKivitz, Trent, Dillard, Pleasance probably in front of Burford if Burford can't get a little quicker footed than what I've seen so far. All right. Give me your surprise. Let's go through a couple surprises. Give me a surprise or two from camp, and I'll go first if you want.
Go ahead.
We interviewed Chris Furster and some of the coaches a couple days ago, and Furster, I said, "Hey, what do you think of Connor Colby's pass protection?" I asked the question because Connor Colby has been getting destroyed in the one-on-ones. Yeah. And Chris is like, I really like him. And I was shocked.
Of course he does.
My mouth draped up. You really like him? He's a turnstile. He's literally getting destroyed in one-on-ones. And then Chris said, you know what? I compare him to Dom Pooney last year. He's like, last year, Dom Pooney, we found out early on that he can pass protect. And so we could play him. We could play him because he could pass protect. And that's what Colby can do. Colby has looked really good as a pass protector, according to Chris. And I said, really? He goes, yeah, in the team sessions, when it's 5-on-5, he really is a good pass protector. And that's his strength right now. And his weakness is he's not ready to roll yet in the run game, which was thought to be his strength coming out of Iowa. I mean, they barely ever passed at Iowa. It was a running scheme. So now the guy who came out of a running scheme is not a good run blocker, but he's a very good pass protector. It was odd and yet encouraging all at once. I mean, it's encouraging that he thinks he's like Dom Pooney and that he thinks Colby might be able to contribute right away. It's a little discouraging that he's not much of a run blocker, considering that was considered to be his strength. But I would have to say that is a surprise. If you told me 2 weeks ago that Connor Colby was going to be like, Chris has so much confidence in Colby as a pass protector that he's willing to play him as a rookie at guard, but he's now deficient as a run blocker, I never would have bought that. So it totally plays opposite on the scouting report. So to me, that's one of the biggest surprises, that Colby's a very good run blocker, or very good pass protector, and not a very good run blocker.
I hope he's right, but Chris Forster, I don't know. I take what he says sometimes with a grain of salt, because he can't criticize any of these linemen. I mean, he thinks Jake Brendel is Hall of Famer. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know. Sometimes with Forster, it's like, really? But maybe he's right. He's the coach. I don't know ball compared to him. So we'll see. I hope he has a good preseason, because we need some damn offensive linemen. So that is surprising to me that he said that, because coming out of Iowa, you're supposed to be a dog blocker. Like George Kittle's a dog blocker. So a little surprising. My surprise, you put me on this guy. Put me on. I'm going to tell you, I've kept a close eye on this guy ever since we had our little discussion last week. Steve Bass, man. Sebastian Valdez. No, I'm not going to lie to you. He didn't pop out to me until you mentioned him last week. I was like, I'm going to take this guy's note. Every day, he's made some nice plays in one-on-ones. He's been very good. He had a great day yesterday in team drills. Today, he had another. This guy, Sebastian Valdez, I'm like, wow, Larry was right. Larry knows ball, man. He might have missed on Tanner Mordecai, but he has clocked in. This guy has looked fantastic on the D-line. I'm surprised he's low on the totem pole on the depth chart. That was another guy. But this guy in preseason, I think he's going to be a wrecker. I think he's going to be a big-time – I think he's going to make some nice plays, and we're going to be talking about Seabass. I'm really excited about this guy come preseason. I want to see him next on Saturday versus the Broncos in the next couple games. But tell you what, man, Dominic Pooney hyped him up. You hyped him up, and I've noted he has stuck out in training camp, man. So good for you there.
Dude, Colt McKivitz mentioned him today. Here's Pooney. Here's Pooney talking about him.
Tom, you mentioned some of the undrafted guys. What's it like banging heads with Valdez, the undrafted rookie?
I actually haven't gone against him yet, but from what I see, we call him the Hulk. He looks crazy. He's really built. He's fast. He's twitchy. He's good off the ball. He gives us trouble in one-on-one pass situations. He's really twitchy and he's got good hands. But once he gets going, he's going to be a problem. I think they got to go with him.
I mean, that's well said. And you know what? The way he kind of, showed it there with his hands, and he's like, with his hands, first of all, when you're pass rushing a guy, right, you got options, right? You can go try to seek an edge, right? Try to beat him with speed, like Bryce Huff. Bryce Huff beats you with speed. Yeah. And he's like, you try to put your hands on me. Good luck. And he tries to beat you with speed. He's a speed rusher. He's awesome. Or you can beat a guy with power and, just as they say, stripe on a stripe, and just bull rush the guy. You just take his manhood by just going through him. And once you own him and he just is afraid of your bull rush, then start picking sides and setting him up and that kind of thing. So there's different ways to go about it. Valdez is so interesting because he did have 34 reps on the bench. So he has the ability anytime he wants to just stripe on a stripe, boom, and just bull rush the guy right back. And he's stronger than the offensive lineman. That's why you hear Dom go, he's like the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
And then he also, as you saw, Dom was like, oh, he's really good with his hands. He'll sometimes bang heads like he's going to bull rush. And you see the offensive lineman set. And then he creates, with that pop, he creates a little space. And then he gets on an edge. And then he gets the quarterback. And I've seen him dip the shoulder and go outside and run the loop. And I've seen him kind of fake the outside, get you leaning, and then come over. He's got moves. He's got speed.
Polished, he's so polished. I honestly, I was like,
that's good. The guy's good.
He's good. I was like, man, he really is a dog, man. I was like, okay, because I remember last week we did our little exercise on the guys, underrated guys. And I was like, I kept an eye on all these guys, right? Because you know your thing, Larry. So I honestly, out of everybody that you mentioned, this guy has been unbelievable. He's really been killing, and he's just so polished. I think he'll make the 53-man roster. Like, I really think this undrafted guy is gonna make. He's so good. If he doesn't, I'll be shocked. But they better pray that he doesn't get claimed off waiver, because he will get signed immediately.
Oh no, he's a D lineman. He's a D tackle who can rush the passer. So he's not. There's no way he clears waivers.
He's so good. Yeah.
All right. One more before we play some sound here. I'll tell you who are you looking forward to seeing this weekend? Because it's the first preseason game, so you're not going to see a lot of the main guys. It's probably going to be the young guys. Is there some, and the Niners have 19 undrafted rookies or whatever. They got a bunch. By the way, Nair was not picked up off waivers, so maybe the Niners can put him on the practice squad at the cut down. Mason Pline went to the Saints. Trey Avery went to the Patriots. They were picked up off waivers.
Yeah.
But give me somebody Saturday night that you're just like, a player or two that you're fired up to see Saturday night.
Yeah, I'll give you one that's under the radar, and I'll give you one that obviously not under the radar. CJ West, man, like, that guy, everybody wants to see this, man. I want to see this guy just go ape. And he says he's a QB killer. I'm so excited to see this guy play on Saturday. We saw how good he was in training camp. We just seen him every step of the way. It's like, I'm so ready to see this guy just go and attack quarterbacks. I'm so excited. That's like the guy that everybody knows. Everybody's going to tell you CJ West, and I'm on that hype train. Give me CJ West, but a guy that's underrated. I could sit here and name a lot of guys actually that I'm excited to see. We get Niner football, but the guy that's underrated that I'm super excited to see on defense. I'm gonna stick to the defensive side of the ball. Jacob Robinson, BYU, undrafted cornerback.
Yeah,
this guy has been such an underrated player. He makes a play every day at training camp. I think I've wrote a note or two about some good play at PBU, something he's done one-on-ones. He's clamping people up. He had today a little misfortunate. He had a tip pass on a Mac Jones toss to Demarcus Robinson. Somehow, I don't know how Demarcus comes up with the catch, because he ends up taking it to the house for 75 yards. But, I mean, Jacob Robinson was there. This guy has been heads and shoulders above a lot of these cornerbacks there. He's a guy. That position is up for grabs. There's so much competition. I'm excited to see this guy. I want to see him. I don't know if he's going to make the roster, but at least be practice squad. This guy's good, man. Underrated.
I think he is going to make the roster. You've got Renardo, Lenore, Stout. Those are your top three corners. Then you've got Flowers and Trey Brown. And then you got Darrell Luter, Saron Neal, and Jacob Robinson. And I think there's a very good chance Robinson makes it. We'll see. We'll see. Preseason's going to determine a lot. I got five guys that I'm really looking forward to. On offense, Corey Kiner. He looks great to me. I mean, I'm very impressed by Corey Kiner. I'm more impressed by Corey Kiner than I am of Jordan James. I like what I see with Corey Kiner. I love his competitiveness. I love his fire. I love his he's difficult to bring down. I love Corey Kiner. I think he's really, really good. I think Corey Kiner is likely to be the guy that we're talking about Monday as, hey man, the guy had 11 carries for 85 yards and a touchdown. It's like, what? I mean, he looked really good. The guy's only produced. He produced in high school. He produced at LSU. He produced for Cincinnati, and he's produced in this camp, and he looks fantastic. So I'm going to say Corey Kiner. Definitely one guy I want to see. I I want to see Jordan Watkins.
Yeah.
See Jordan Watkins.
He was one of the guys.
He's just. I just really believe in Jordan Watkins. I think he's going to be a really good receiver in the league. So those two guys on offense, and then on defense, obviously I could say West or Collins or McKell, but I'm going to go with three other guys. I'm going to go with Valdez, the Hulk.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Nick Martin, who I just think is going to be fantastic. The last week, I think when I'm watching the film, I see greatness in Martin. Like I think Winters is nice. Don't get me wrong, but I see greatness in Martin. I think Martin is going to be a Pro Bowl linebacker. I think Winters is a starter. Don't get me wrong, and I think Winters is good, but I think Martin's better. I think Martin's going to be the guy. So I love Nick Martin. I love Valdez, but the other guy is Stone Blanton. I sat down with Johnny Holland. Johnny Holland did not try to be like, pump the brakes on Stone Blanton. He's like, hey, he's pumping him up. He's like, in fact, Johnny said to me, he's like, Stone Blanton had amazing ball production in college. I said, Johnny, he had 18 tackles in a game last year. I go, he had 14 in another game. And he's like, he had outstanding ball production in college. And he's like, he's had outstanding ball production in this camp. And he's like, in fact, Stone Blanton has had as good a ball production as any of our linebackers. And he probably has played the fewest LB reps of the entire group. And yet Johnny keeps track of the production. And he says Blanton is right there with the tackle leaders, despite the fact he doesn't get very many reps. Today, when the team was getting ready to go into the auditorium, I had to go in there to get my binoculars because I was interviewing Don Pooney in the hallway. And who was the only guy sitting in there ready for the meeting? Stone Blanton.
Baby.
He's in there early. And it's like Johnny's like, you tell him things one time, he gets it. He's like, he's really, really smart. He's like, this guy is an undrafted rookie. And we're putting as much on his plate as we're putting on Fred's plate as far as calling coverages, wearing the green dot, getting everybody lined up. He's like, this guy's communicating like a veteran. They really like him. And I'm telling you, man, there's very few things that are for sure. Okay. There's a lot of projection in the draft. Mikael Williams is going up against one guy in college. It's going to be a different level at the pro level. Yeah. But the two spots to me that really translate is if you're a good college running back and you have even requisite, athleticism, you're going to be a good pro running back. And if you're a good college linebacker and you have requisite athleticism, you're going to be a good pro linebacker. Those positions are very instinctive. It's not about your 40 time. It's not about how much you lift. It's not about your 10-yard split. It's about how many tackles do you make? How many yards do you get? What do you average per carry? How many tackles do you break if you're a running back? How many tackles do you make as a linebacker? So Corey Kiner, Stone Blanton, Nick Martin. Those are the guys I'm watching for Saturday night. I expect to see Blanton be a 10-tackle guy in the second half of this game. I think Nick Martin's going to look good, and I think Corey Kiner is going to look good. So
I love it.
Those are the guys I'm looking for.
I'm going to give you a few more since you gave me 5. But real quick, Stone Blanton, it's so great that you brought up that communication because the other day in training camp, there was a point where I think they were doing like individual drills, but they had Johnny Holland there and they were doing some linebacker drills. You could hear Stone calling, like you could tell he literally had the calls. I was like, okay, look at this young man calling him out. He definitely has that vibe that Fred had because when Fred was a rookie, they threw him into the fire and it was like, okay, here you go, middle linebacker, call the plays. And you could tell this guy's processing it. To do that as a rookie is a lot of work. I remember Fred explained that and he talked about that many times, but they had him out there. And then even on team drills, you could just see him like calling it. He's very comfortable calling it. And look at the name, Stone Blanton, Larry. That is a star linebacker name right there. So I'm pulling for the guy. But the other 3 guys that I'm rooting for, or I just really want to see, I'm going to give you Mac Jones, man. This guy has looked pretty damn good in preseason.
I really
want to see what he can do. If you go back to 2021, the draft, it was the most craziest offseason. It was the most dramatic offseason. Everybody was, team Fields, team Lance, team Mac Jones, team whatever quarterback you wanted this team to draft. And most of people didn't want Mac. And now we know Mac was probably going to be their guy, and it should have been their guy. I really want to see what this offense is going to look like with Mac Jones on an actual game, because it looks pretty good when he's out there in preseason. I'm very intrigued to see Mac Jones, man. I want to see him hit a gritty after he throws a touchdown. I want to see Mac and the aura. So I'm excited to see him. And then on offense, you mentioned Corey Kiner. I'm a big Jordan James guy. I'm really, really excited to see this guy. He looks explosive today. He came back. He had the knee issue, but they gave him a lot of carries today, and he looked fantastic. So I need to see this guy ball out because, hey, Isaac Grendo, he's dealing with a multitude of injuries. He's had injuries throughout his career. And Jordan James is probably going to have to step up at some point, and I'm excited to see what this guy can do. They're probably going to hand him the ball off a lot of times. And then on defense, can't believe I forgot this guy. This guy is probably the best player of the last week in training camp. I don't know how many times he's made like a leaping PBU today against Christian McCaffrey. I don't know how he gets it. He breaks on the ball, deep shot, and he comes up with it. Upton Stout. I can't wait to see this guy in real time. Unbelievable.
I was going to say, has Kev jumped into our stream, but he jumped in for a second. I'll throw you this question. You mentioned it, so I think it's worthy of a question. If you had to wager everything that you own in this world on a one quarterback winning the Super Bowl in the 2021 draft, who are you going to take? Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Mac Jones?
I'm going to put my money on Mac, baby. Easy Mac. I'm going to go with Mac Jones, man.
That's wild, but I agree with you.
I'm going to go Mac. I think
that is wild.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to go Mac, though.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's a wild answer, but I totally agree.
What a question.
I mean, I think it's Mac.
I
think it's Mac. Kev changed the overlay.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Did you notice that?
Saw that. I like the red. The red was popping.
I like the red too, but he likes the motion. Kev wanted to go with the motion.
He gets more views, Larry. He knows.
Kev wants, Kev gets.
Kev knows Kev knows ball.
All right, there you go. Okay. Couple other thoughts before. Well, actually, let's get into some of these audio. I'm going to share the screen here, and we can get into some of the audio cuts from today. And we'll go to Kev's Twitter for Colton McKivitz. And this is the first question that I asked McKivitz today about playing basketball. Let's see. Hold on 1 second here. Okay, here we go. Wait, no. Wait, hold on.
Ooh.
Okay, here we go.
I was looking at your bio, and it said that you were an all-state basketball player in high school. And I'm just kind of wondering, you know, what was your position, and do you think that basketball background has helped your footwork at all at tackle?
Center. We were, typical Midwest school, a lot of shooters. So I just, double, 10 points, 10 rebounds, and then call it a day. We had some really good teams, but I do attribute it. I played all of it. I mean, I even swam, played soccer, so quite a genre of sports. So I think basketball obviously helps with foot quickness and being able to move in space. So moving out to tackle, you need that. So I think I attribute basketball to it, and then all the sports I've played.
Which is kind of cool. There's a lot of people that try to, I'm going to play one sport and only one sport. But if you can, I would always encourage my kids to play as many sports as you can. But I thought that was interesting. First of all, you think of Colton McKivitz, you don't think of an all-state basketball player. But I mean, that tells you what kind of an athlete he really is, to be an all-state basketball player in a state as big as Ohio. It's not like this guy's from Montana or something. That Ohio's a big state. There's some big cities in there. There's some good players in there. So I thought that was interesting. All-state basketball player, Colt McKivitz.
I wouldn't. I mean, I definitely would have pegged him as a center if he did play basketball. But foot quickness, he's right. I mean, to run that zone blocking scheme, you got to be pretty quick on your feet. So it makes sense. But I would never have thought he was a basketball player at All-State at that. And you know what? It looks like he was like a jack of all trades. He played it all. He did it all, man. This guy's a super athlete. And you know what? I hope he gets a big contract this offseason, because guess what that means? He played well. So I'm rooting for Colton. I know a lot of people, he sucks, get rid of him. He's our starting right tackle, Larry. I'm rooting for the guy. I hope he has an all-pro season.
He wants to make the Pro Bowl. He's a stated goal. He's put on some good muscle in the upper body. He looks good.
Big, yeah.
All right, here's Robert Saleh, and I asked him about Bradley and Nye, and this guy played in the UFL and put up some crazy numbers.
Yeah.
And then in the one-on-ones, a Nye who ran in the 4.9s, yeah, he's not fast, but man, he's got really good hand usage, and he's getting home on the quarterback. And I asked Saleh about him, and Saleh traded for him when he was with Dallas, when Saleh was with the Jets, and then obviously he's the impetus behind Bradley and Nye becoming a 49er. Here's Saleh on the Nye.
Robert, what do you like about Bradley and Nye? He was really good at Utah, and he really killed it in the the UFL. I know you had him with the Jets.
Yeah,
what do you think of Nye?
Bradley. He came to us at the Jets from Dallas as a practice squad guy, gave us an op to work with him. We were all really excited to work with him. We thought that he had a legit chance to make a really good roster on D-line in New York, and he tore his ACL during OTAs, and which set him back. Proud of him. He found his way, had a really successful season. So he's here. He's a good player, I'm not going to say who I compare him to, but he's a very smart, effective player. He's got great versatility, so it's a great opportunity for him. Hope he takes advantage.
Okay, Raj, who would Saleh compare him to? He didn't want to say it, so it's a good player, right? He wouldn't have said, "Oh, I want to compare him to somebody and have him be some donkey." You can tell he didn't want to say it because it's a good player. But I also like the fact that he just said, Bradley's a good player, because Bradley is a good player. You don't win the Morris Trophy in the Pac-12 without being a good player. He was good at Utah. He's not fast, as I said, and the measurables, didn't help him. He went to Dallas, didn't work out. But the motor, the hand usage, what this guy has done statistically in the UFL, now granted it's the UFL, but he has turned the UFL into his personal playground. And he looked good today. He probably touched off on the quarterback 3 times in the one-on-ones. He looked good.
And yesterday, the day he made his debut, he had probably, if they recorded sacks in the team drills, I think I saw him get at least 2 or 3. Like, he was in that backfield all day. I don't know who he's comparing him to, and I get it. He doesn't want to throw that and put that pressure on him. I'm going to just say Myles Garrett. I don't know. Maybe that's who he wanted to compare it to, but this guy looked pretty good for 2 days. So interesting story. He tore the ACL, and now he's giving him another chance. Saleh's good. He knows players, and he's always going to give them a chance to get an opportunity. So I like that for him.
Yeah, I mean, I like the fact that, it's funny. Saleh was asked today. Well, first of all, let's hear a couple more from Saleh. Here's Coach Yak. We'll play this one. This is Saleh talking about Mikael Williams. And here's what Saleh had to say about Williams earlier today.
He's not a traditional.
What might he'll do that makes him an effective interior rusher?
You know what? He's got great feet. He's kind of awkward because he's long, he's tall. He's not a traditional free technique. So he's got great foot speed and strength and power and length he's shifty. He can get outside his frame. I'm trying to figure it's different for guards to go against a guy like him. And he's so good with his hands. He's so good with his feet. He plays with great pad level. He's got power. So he's a 3-way player. He can run around you. He can run through you. He can counter. And, he's showing all of it off. And, he still has a long ways to grow. So, like I said, he's going to be a good football player in this league. And it may not come this year, but you could see it through practice that this kid, once he gets it, it's going to be special.
He has good reps. He has bad reps. But Dom Pooney said, "Hey, look, if there's any space it's like really hard to block Mikel because he's just got so much movement ability and he's just so much quicker than those guys. So he's a real challenge for the guards. And I can't wait for the Niners to, really display their NASCAR package. And I don't know who would be in it, but I mean, Bosa and Huff and Mikel. And the question is, who's that fourth guy? It might be Valdez. It might be Valdez because Valdez is such a pass rusher. But I'm eager to see that NASCAR package because Mikel inside looks impactful. Like he looks like the kind of guy that could just, really beat some guards and get some sacks. I mean, he looks way too quick for the guard. Way too quick.
Yeah, I think that's why I think, like I said, he's such a good interior rusher that it probably does him no justice throwing him on the outside because, those tackles, man, those guys are so quick on their feet. So throw them on the inside. You put Huff and Bosa out there. Oh, my God. It honestly doesn't matter. I think CJ West, if he's that good of a pass rusher and we're going to see, I think you throw CJ West in that NASCAR package. I mean, 4 guys, they're just going to be running to the quarterback. It's going to be scary. So I'm excited. I'm excited for all these young guys. Michael Williams has looked very polished in training camp, as you know. So, yeah, it's going to be fun to see what he brings to the table.
Here's one more on Solid talking about the rookie class. And you mentioned CJ West. He comments here on West.
I knock on wood, we love this rookie class. That they're all attacking every moment. I know Fred spoke pretty candidly about Upton Stout. He's doing a hell of a job. Alfred's been getting better every day, getting his legs underneath him, showing some really good progress in the run game. CJ's been showing good stuff in the run game. Michael, obviously, it's hard to see in there, but his pass rush on the inside has been fantastic. And even Siegel, safety, is coming along really strong and doing a really nice job. So just overall as a group, they're getting better. They're competing. Going against a really, really precise offense. Our offense has been rolling out for 8 years, and so the precision at which they operate is pretty damn good. So they're getting all they're getting all they can handle as rookies. It's as hard as it's going to get for them going against our offense and all the different things they do. But they're showing that it's not too big for them.
It's a good group. I mean, I don't know exactly how many of these rookies are gonna, be at what level and whatnot, Raj, but it's a good group. I mean, I don't know how many rookies. This is going to be the 49ers volume draft class. The same way 86 was their volume class in that era. This is their volume class. I don't think there's any question about it because look at all the guys they've got here. I mean, they got a bunch of guys. I mean, they may have 12 rookies on this team. I mean, it's a good group for sure. Let me see here. I wanted to play a Nick Martin cut, but I don't see any Nick Martin cuts. I'm not sure if Nick Martin, let me see, let me double check. But is there give me one thought, Raj, that, one thought that I haven't brought up that is there some player or some position group that we haven't discussed tonight that you are looking forward to watching this weekend?
I mean, obviously I want to see everybody play, but one group that we haven't really touched upon, I mean, actually, I think we touched upon everybody, really. Honestly, I'll throw it to you because, I'll throw it to this. This is what I was going to say. They cut Mason P-Line yesterday, right? So, and he signed with the Saints. So
Mason
now
Pline,
they're Mason Pline. So tight end group, it just really hasn't shown much to me outside of George Kittle. Do you think that was a mistake? Do you think they should have kept Mason? That was your guy. What do you think about this tight end group? What's your overall takeaway here on the tight ends? Because I haven't really been impressed.
Well, it's interesting. It's like Pline is a basketball player who they were trying to give a redshirt year to. It's really okay. Like if you said to me, give me, somebody who hasn't been at camp. I haven't been at camp all summer. Tell me what's going on with the Niners from somebody who knows what they're talking about, who's there all the time. What do you see? And I would say more than anything, if you said, give me, some thought after watching what the Niners have done here in camp, I would say that the Niners are freaking tired as shit of being crappy on special teams.
Okay.
The Niners are done with being bad on special teams. They're tired of it. They were bad under Hightower. They were worse under Schneider. They're tired of being bad on special teams, and they are going to commit whatever it takes to being good on special teams. And so they brought in a new coordinator, and I mean, like Brian Fleury, the tight end coach, said to me, he said, Krug, the third tight end's likely going to be a special teams specific player. So it was almost like he was telling me, hey, man, I watch your stuff. I know you like Pline. Pline ain't making the team. This was a couple days ago, right? Yeah. And that's what I took out of that was that, Pline is not going to be, because Pline's not a special teamer. Nayer's not a special teamer. Dwelly is a special teamer. You know what I mean? There are other receivers. Bergen is a special teamer. Nayer is not. So Pline is not. So they are going the back end of their tight end room, the back end of their receiving core, the back end of probably a couple different spots. They are going to, have guys on the roster that have special teams experience, special teams value, and it's just clear as day to me. Now, the only thing about the kicker situation, and do you have a take on the kicker situation? I mean, part of me believes that, they I think there's a chance that when they got Joseph to sign with them, that Joseph's agent said to them, hey, look, I don't want my guy just to be an insurance policy against your third round draft choice.
Yeah.
Does my guy have a real shot to make the team? Yes, he does. He has a real shot to make the team. How about this? If we get to August 1st and you think you're going to go with your guy, don't drive my guy off the cliff and drive him past the cut down so the jobs are all gone. Cut my guy loose and let me see if I can get him a job somewhere else. And if you do that for me and your guy goes south in season and we're out there, we'll give you another look.
Yeah.
I personally believe that that's what happened here. This was not a competition.
No.
Joseph missed a couple kicks and Moody missed 3. So it's like Moody kicked worse than Joseph. So how did Joseph win this? Joseph won this just because they wanted to go with Moody. They wanted to have somebody there to challenge Moody. They got that in Joseph. Moody has been kicking well. And I'm pretty sure the agent just said, hey, look, don't drive my guy off the cliff so he doesn't have a job this year. If you want to go with your guy, that's fine. But let's cut my guy loose. So that's my guess. Now, the other theory is that the Niners just had injuries on the D-line, needed a roster spot anywhere they could find it, and they've seen enough of Joseph, and so they could just cut him, know that nobody's going to pick him up, let him stay at the Santa Clara Hyatt for the next 10 days.
Yeah.
And who cares? Sign him back, after a couple weeks or whatever. If you have, let's just say it this way: if Moody makes kicks, Joseph doesn't get the job. But if Moody misses kicks, Moody doesn't keep his job. So it doesn't really, this thing doesn't really matter. It's all about what does Moody do going forward. But if you said make a guess, that's my guess. My guess is that they had to promise the agent that they would free up the kicker so he could look for another gig somewhere else. And if he goes somewhere else like tomorrow, then maybe I'm right. And if he doesn't go anywhere at all, then maybe the Niners just want to, maybe they're just playing roster games, trying to look at more D linemen. And they know what Joseph is, and they feel confident with Joseph. Maybe Joseph will be their guy. And now they just want to put it all on Moody. But I'll tell you what was was interesting today. I don't know if you noticed this. So Moody's kicking his kicks today. He's the only kicker. There's 6 kicks. He made all of them except for 1. He missed from 54. Did you hear the music in the background? They were playing AC/DC Money Talks for Jake Money Moody kicking his field goals. I thought that was That was awesome, man. I mean, that was
He got a
incredible.
theme song now. He got a theme song, and I agree with your take. So I see it in different ways. I see it similar, but I think they did say, look, it's not necessarily a competition. We need to bring in a guy so we can see what Moody does with some pressure. And I think it was also for them to say, we need to build this guy's damn confidence, because his confidence was shot. It was absolutely like Jake Moody is the most not confident player on this team. It was in the gutter. So they said, okay, we're going to go out there. He's going to kick with some other guy, and it's going to, make him kick better. It didn't really. He missed more kicks than Joseph. But I think you're right in the sense of, hey, look, this isn't going to work for you right now. Let me go see if I can find my guy a job. But I think the Niners do this with everybody. We talked about receivers with other players. They're going to keep his number on speed dial. And if Jake Moody shits the bed, Larry, they're calling up Greg Joseph and say, hey, guess what? You're the starting kicker, because now they know what they have with Greg Joseph. They had to see what they had. Brent Boyer brought him in, and he wanted to make sure that he can trust him. And at the same time, they're going to try to build up Jake Moody's confidence. If he can't make these kicks, it's over. They got another guy in their back pocket, and they could just say, hey, look, Jake, we need to cut you. We're going to bring in Greg Joseph. But I think it's not the time right now. Let him go through preseason. Let's see if the whole charade worked and built his confidence. I don't think Kyle Shanahan is ready to take that L just yet. I know they're going to take a big backlash if they keep him or lose him. Regardless, the Niner fans, the media are going to just trash Kyle Shanahan. So they're going to see if this competition, which really wasn't a competition, helped his mental. That's what they needed to do. And again, I do think by the end of this preseason, if Jake Moody misses at about 3 field goals, Larry, he's gone. They're gone. It's over. And they got Greg Joseph. I think the leash is very short for Jake Moody. You want to talk about players in the doghouse? Jake Moody, his leash is very short. He will be in that doghouse very soon.
I kind of agree. Couple last notes. The Niners have announced that Guy Haberman will be filling in for Greg Papa for preseason games. And Guy, I think, will be doing some games this year. I don't think it's going to be every game, but I think you might see Guy do 9 or 10 games. Obviously there's only one Greg Papa, and these are big shoes to fill. But Guy Haberman is a talented young broadcaster. He knows the team. He knows the sport. He'll do a good job. I think he'll do a very good job. So congratulations to him for getting that opportunity. Also, Lindsey Polaris has left the Niners, and they've replaced Lindsey Polaris with Brianna McDonald. And I think she's going to do a really good job. She's been covering the Niners for a while. She knows her ball, and I did a number of podcasts with her and Lindsey last year. I thought they both did a really, really good job. And I think, the Niners are in good hands with Brianna McDonald. She's going to do a really, really nice job. I don't know if you have any brushes with her, Raj, but she's done a nice number of,
she's
of
awesome.
good stuff.
She's done good stuff. I've seen her do like the Faithful Talk, where they do like some training camp talks, and she interviews the players, and I think she's great. Everybody yesterday in the comments were excited because she looks pretty, but she's definitely a great reporter, and it's good, man. I think that's a good transition. I'm excited for her. It's a good opportunity for her. They played a video yesterday on the 49ers team page, and she grew up as a Niner fan. So it's like a dream for her. That's awesome. Like, you grew up a Niner fan, and now you're the Niners report. Like, that is such a cool moment, full circle. So I'm happy for her. And Guy, I'm a huge Guy fan. Like, he is great. When I saw that news today, I was like, oh man, that's a great replacement for Papa until he's able to come back. And if he isn't able to come back this year, I think Guy would be a great announcer for them. I can listen to him. I've listened to his podcast when he was with Middlecoff. This guy has been great, man. So good for both of them. They're both fantastic.
Good call. Let's hit some supers and let's bolt for the door. Brenton Dudley. Larry, what is your current D-line depth chart? That's a good question. I would say my ones would be Bosa and we're talking about first down, right? Not third down. First down. Nick Bosa, Mikael Williams, CJ West, Jordan Elliott. That would be my starting 4. And then eventually I'd take Jordan Elliott out of there and put Collins in there. And so I think ideally my starting front four is Bosa, Collins, West, and Williams.
Mm.
I don't know how you feel about that, but that's mine. I mean, I to me, it's all about these kids.
I can't argue with that one.
Joseph Ernberg, do you think we could have afforded Keenan? Love you. What did you see? I didn't see the terms on Keenan. Do you have the terms there, Raj?
Let me pull it up real quick.
I will say this. I mean, the Chargers, probably gave him good money. He is a little bit older. Personally, yeah. What do you got?
It's Chargers signed Keenan Allen to a 1-year, $8.52 million deal.
The Niners are $47 million under the cap. They do have a lot of that earmarked for a rollover to take care of the expanding salary of their quarterback going forward. But the Niners absolutely can do what they want. I was a big advocate a couple weeks ago for call Cincinnati, trade for Shamar Stewart. I don't know if you've been watching, but Shamar Stewart has been dominating the Bengals offensive lineman. Now we'll see what it looks like in the preseason, but he has been dominating so far. Scotty D. What's that?
I said, I'm glad he's doing well. He deserved his money, and I'm glad he's showing up.
Yeah, I mean, look at the Bengals. It took forever, and they still don't have Hendrickson signed. Scotty D. Brock is throwing a lot of long ball plays, a lot more than last year. Will we see more deeper plays this year? Yes. The 49ers were 32nd in the NFL in wide receiver separation. Jennings is not fast. Ayuk is not fast. Debo is not fast. And those were their number 1, 2, and 3 receivers last year. So this year you have Watkins, you have Cowing, you have Demarcus Robinson, you have guys that can free themselves open down the field. And I do think you're going to see more of a downfield passing attack. And I think you're going to see less 50-50 passes because I think you're going to see more separation among the receivers. Yeah. Niner throwback. Which rookie are you excited to watch most on Saturday? For me, it's Upton Stout. Looks like the 49ers found K'Wan Williams 2.0, probably better. And by the way, Upton Stout is talking to K'Wan Williams about playing the position. Upton Stout, 1 week after the Niners drafted him, showed up in Santa Clara. And when we did the first interview with him, he had already asked the Niners for 2024 films and already had broken them down.
Wow.
Yes. This was, we're talking about first week in May. So he is the right guy here, heart-wise, but he's really the right guy here. And that's what makes him so special. His preparation is off the charts. If they could clone him, they would. For me, it's Nick Martin. I just think that I think that linebacker is going to be spectacular. I'm seeing him tag off on plays in practice every day. Those are not going to be tags. Those are going to be hits. Those are going to be tackles. And I think people are going to notice. John Chapman in the house. Appreciate what both of you do for the faithful community. Keep it up, gents. Thank you, John.
Man.
John stopped by tonight on KMBR and for Niners Nightly, and Raj will be on Niners Nightly with me a number of times this year as well. And John does a really nice job with 49er Rush podcast and everything that he's doing, traveling around. We're going to go to a couple of his trips this year, a couple parties. I'm not sure which games yet, but Kevin and I are committed to going. So we're fired up. And Claudaddy Arcades is going to be our sponsor that helps us travel this year. So thank you, Claudaddy. We should tell people, by the way, we're brought to you by Claudaddy Arcades. They're a great follow on Instagram at Claw_Daddy_Arcades to check them out for locations near you. They're Capitola Mall and Visalia Mall. They got 2 brand new arcades opening later on this year. And also thanks to Sharp Corners Sports Cards and Collectibles. They're at 205 Cypress Avenue in Pacific Grove, California on the Monterey Peninsula. Thanks to Anthony Catania. He's at 831-521-5264. And he's a great follow on IG, Sharp Corners 831. On the gram, couple more here. Scotty D in the house. He said, what's the story on Mason being cut? What part of his game wasn't good enough versus the other tight end still on the roster? Oh, I thought you were talking about JP Mason. You're talking about Mason Pline.
Yeah.
It's simple. It's just that Pline is, and I tried to make this, people were kind of, oh, what do you know? And this and that. It's like, just because like Ross Dwelly's on the team and Mason Pline's cut does not mean that Ross Dwelly is a better tight end than Mason Pline. What it means is that not every guy, not every draft or not every roster spot goes to the guy with the greatest potential, or the guy who's going to have the greatest career, or the guy who's going to have, the greatest plays from scrimmage. The Niners, I said to you guys, a half hour ago, and is that the message is that they're tired of being crappy on special teams. So they're going to devote a lot of roster spots to special teams, including that third tight end spot. And the bottom line is Tongas, Dwelly, and Willis are just better special teamers than Pline. So there you go. I thought Pline was a great prospect because he was very smart, very big, could jump. But I got to be honest, I didn't see a lot of growth between year 1 and year 2. So good luck to him in New Orleans. I hope he makes it. Shadur Sanders' thoughts on me starting in the preseason opener. I think you're driving 95 and a 60 and giving the cop lip. No, I don't know. Good luck to Shadur. I'm not a big Shadur fan. I've seen him try to hit deep
Larry,
passes. He looks bad.
Shadur is on your YouTube channel commenting. You should be hey, Shadur. Tear him up, kid. I hope you throw 4 touchdowns this weekend, please.
Shadur, I don't know tons about you, but I'm pretty sure you misspelled your first name. I mean, I don't want to say I'm an expert on Shadur more than Shadur himself, but I'm pretty sure you misspelled Shadur. Here's a guy that didn't misspell Jake. Niners kicker Jake Moody's in the chat. Why do you guys hate me, Krug and Raj? What does that say? Got the what? By the way, Krug was Krue.
Oh,
come on, man.
He's got the receipts.
Jake.
He's got the receipts.
Oh, he's got the receipts.
Yeah.
I don't hate on Jake Moody. I kind of like Jake Moody. I'm just tired of him missing.
That's it.
Just make the fucking kick, all right? I mean, seriously, make the goddamn kick or we're cutting you. It's just as simple as that. I mean, it's life in the NFL. We can talk about nuance. We can talk about this and competitions and who's where and who's available. The bottom line is he won nothing. If he makes the kicks, he's the guy. If he misses the kicks, he's not.
Simple as that.
It's really simple. Lander Film says, do you really think 12 rookies make the 53-man roster? If so, who? And who of them starts? All right, this is the rookies that make the roster. I'm going to give it to you really quick.
Let's do it.
Here are the rookies that make the roster. Jordan Watkins, Junior Bergen, Connor Colby, Jordan James, Corey Kiner, CJ West, Alfred Collins, Mikael Williams, Sebastian Valdez. That's 9. Nick Martin, 10. Stone Blanton, 11. Jacob Robinson, 12. Marquise Siegel, 13.
Oh.
Upton Stout, 14.
Wow.
And maybe Canteen, but I'll say 14. I'll say 14. And as far as starts, well, week 1 or eventually, I'll say eventually Stout, Siegel, Williams, Martin, Collins, and West. 6 on defense.
Wow.
And eventually on offense, I'll say Colby and Watkins, and I guess Bergen as a starting kick returner.
It's a young team, Larry.
It's a young team.
It's a young team. I could see all those guys make it. They're playing out, and I mean, they got rid of so many people, and they didn't really infuse this team with free agents. And during that period, some special teamers, like you said, they were focusing on free agency, special teams. So honestly, it's not a stretch, man. That's a young team, though. Holy smokes!
It's a very young team. But you know what? Wouldn't you rather see the Niners go with like the Jacob Robinsons of the world than to go with like the Trey Browns of the world?
Yeah, develop.
Give me the young guys. I'll take the young guys. Yeah, they're hungry, and also they're unproven. But we know Trey Brown's kind of a meh,
Mid,
where Jacob Robinson might be much significantly better than
good
that.
ceiling, yeah.
MSQ, thoughts on Texas and Ohio State being ranked number 1 and 2 in the coaches poll and being week 1 opponents? When was the last time 1 and 2 faced off in week 1? The last time 1 and 2 faced off in week 1 was 19. No, what if I knew that? That would be crazy.
You're gonna pull that. I thought you were really gonna pull that out. I was like,
I know.
really no ball.
Seriously, could you imagine? I'm not Lombardi over here. All right. I'll say this. And Dave, come on, don't take that personally. We're all friends here. Texas and Ohio State are loaded, but I think Ohio State's significantly better than Texas. All this talk about Arch Manning, Arch this, Arch that. I'm not buying it. I like the Buckeyes. I think the Buckeyes are better. I love the safety for the Buckeyes downs. If I could add one college player to the Niners this year, right now, I'd take Caleb Downs off of the Buckeyes and put him in the Niners secondary. He is awesome. He's an amazing secondary player. I like Ohio State. By the way, who's looked really good is the Texas quarterback, Quinn Ewers, in Miami. In Miami's camp. He's looking good. He's looking good.
He's terrible. But I'm picking
He's terrible.
We're going with Arch.
Hook 'em horns? You're going hook 'em horns?
Hook 'em horns. We're going all the way with Arch. I can't stand the Suckeyes. I'm not an Ohio State fan. You kidding me? That's against my religion to pick the Ohio State Buckeyes. We are taking hook 'em horns. We're going Arch. Are you kidding? Arch Manning, the hype. You better get on this hype train. This man's about to make Downs. He's going to tear up Mr. Downs. He's going to be lighting them up all day. They should have started this guy all year. But the hype is about to get start. First game. That's crazy. Number 1 and 2, first week. That's actually crazy. It's actually crazy.
The Buckeye. Nobody's beating the Buckeyes. All right.
These guys are.
I mean, have you seen what the Buckeyes have this year?
Have you seen Arch Manning? He's going to do it.
Yeah, but I mean, well, no, I haven't seen Arch Manning. I haven't seen him at all. I mean, obviously he's got the Manning name, but I mean, look at the Buckeyes receivers: Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith. I mean, they lost some guys to the NFL, and they're still pretty freaking amazing.
They're pretty good, yeah.
Then on defense, I mean, you got some Kenyatta Jackson at defensive end. He's pretty big time. Sonny Styles at linebacker at the weak side. He's pretty big time. Caleb Downs, number 2, the free safety. He's pretty big time. Davison Igbenison, the big corner. He's, would have been a high pick. He came back. So I'll take the Buckeyes, but you know what? You never know. We
should make a bet when it gets closer to game day. We'll make a bet.
I can go there. MSQ says, can the Giants go on a run post trade deadline? Let me think about that. No, they can't. They can't hit, and if you can't hit, you can't win, and if you can't win, you can't go on a run. Pitching prevents long losing streaks. Hitting is what leads to long winning streaks, and they don't have enough hitting. If they had gotten some hitting, if they'd added a hitter, I mean, we'll see. Maybe they'll call up some of these guys. There's 2 months of ball left. Maybe they can get hot. It's not totally crazy, but I would say no. I think they got off to a hot start. They overachieved. They made the Devers trade. Then they came crashing down to earth with Wilmer and Jung-Hoo Lee. It would be so on brand for the Giants, by the way, to just basically shit the bed after the Devers trade, be the worst team in baseball, play the worst fundamental ball, fall out of the race, only to make Buster Posey sell at the deadline. And then when everybody gives them up for dead, make some futile, 11th hour charge to wind up 4 games south of the wild card spot. And everybody can say, look at the Giants. They finish fast. It doesn't matter. It's like, either you do or you don't. And right now, when it comes to the playoffs, I would say they're not going to make it. Anyway, that's going to do it for us. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle. Thanks to Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles. Thanks to Claudaddy Arcades. Raj, I'll give you the final word. What say you? You got one final thought before we bolt for the door.
Yeah, training camp Thursday, joint practices. Oh my God, I can't wait. Let's go. That's it. That's the one.
Well said. For Raj, I'm Larry. Peace.
Yeah, never met a man I've been